Tonight on the 10 o'clock news, an update to a News4Jax I-Team investigation about hundreds of medical malpractice lawsuits they've been filed against a former orthopedic surgeon at Ascension St. Vincent's Riverside Hospital. The lawsuits claim that he operated on patients while suffering a progressive neurological condition that caused him to slur his speech and lose his balance.
The suit alleges the health system knew but still allowed him to perform surgery. I-Team investigator Ann Maxwell spoke with attorneys today about whether criminal charges could be brought against the doctor or Ascension St. Vincent's.
One of those attorneys said no, he doesn't see evidence of criminal intent on behalf of the doctor or Ascension St. Vincent's, but another attorney said it depends on the case, but there is law that allows for the prosecution of criminal negligence. Former orthopedic surgeon Dr. David Heekin is accused in lawsuits of making hundreds of medical mistakes from 2016 to 2020, including performing surgeries where he severed tendons and nerves and caused fractures. In one case, it's alleged a patient died after Dr. Heekin caused her femur to crack during a hip replacement. The suit says the cause of death was listed as complications of intertrochanteric femur fracture. Others claim they were seriously hurt. Personal injury attorney and former assistant state attorney Randy Reep says he doesn't see a prosecutor bringing criminal charges against the doctor.
I don't think anything could be brought against him that show a criminal intent on his part, at least nothing that I've seen in the lawsuits that I've read.
He says he also doesn't see the health system as being a target of a criminal case.
To get beyond into the exclusion of a reasonable doubt that someone purposefully caused the injury to somebody else, I think would be a very difficult burden to carry.
But attorney Shannon Schott says surgeons have been prosecuted before.
There's a precedent here to criminally prosecute surgeons who should take a step back, where they're either not competent or there's some sort of reason why they need to take a step back.
But she says it's rare.
Medical malpractice litigation in the state of Florida has been litigated so much and legislated so much where doctors are very protected. However, this is about the people of the state of Florida. And if the state attorney's office feels they need to take action to protect the people of the state of Florida, then absolutely, I anticipate that that is what will happen.
Schott says she represented one of Dr. Heekin's patients a few years ago.
I've been up against these attorneys who are involved in this case. I know that they're going to fight this tooth and nail, but I do know that in 2018, 2019, when my client was going through a very serious surgery with Dr. Heekin, there were complications and there were concerns.
Schott says under the law, corporations are actually considered people, meaning they could also be held criminally responsible by the state of Florida. Live in Riverside, Ann Maxwell, Channel 4, the local station.